Hello, this is the third session on distributed computing. In this video, I would like to discuss about various distributed computing models. There are mini computer model, workstation model, workstation server model, and processor pool model. Let us see one by one. Mini computer model has so many mini computers connected via communication network. Each mini computer will have so many terminals. Using these terminals, a number of users can connect to a single mini computer, and the computational powers of the mini computers can be used by all the users connecting to it. Apart from that, they can also remotely make use of the computing and other resources by connecting to remote machines via communication network. The mini computer model is a simple extension of the centralized time sharing system. A distributed computing system based on this model consists of a few mini computers. There may be large supercomputers as well, interconnected by a communication network. Each mini computer usually has multiple users simultaneously logged onto it. For this, several interactive terminals are connected to each mini computer. A mini computer itself can be accessed by several computers by having several interactive terminals connected to a mini computer. Each user is logged on to one specific mini computer with remote access to other mini computers. So there is a sharing. All the mini computers which are free can be accessed by the users logged on to a mini computer system remotely. The network allows a user to access remote resources that are available on some machines other than the one onto which the user is currently logged. The communication and connectivity will happen through the network. Sharing of files, sharing of information, sharing of computation, collecting the result, everything will happen by sending messages, by sending information through the communication network. The next model is workstation model. A distributed computing system based on the workstation model consists of several workstations interconnected by a communication network. So a single user connect to a workstation here, and workstations are connected together by communication network, so that all of them can share various resources, software and hardware. The idea of the workstation model is to interconnect all these workstations by a high speed LAN so that idle workstations may be used to process jobs of users who are logged on to other workstations and do not have sufficient processing power at their own workstation. This is very important. So the computing power is very effectively utilized in the workstation model. If a particular workstation is free, the processor of workstation is free, that can be utilized by other users from remote workstations. So the effective utilization of hardware and software is happening here in the workstation model. In the workstation model, a user logs on to the workstations called his or her home workstation and submit jobs for execution. When the system finds that the user's workstation does not have sufficient processing power for executing the processes of the submitted jobs efficiently, it transfers one or more of the processes from the user's workstation to some other workstation that is currently idle and get the process executed there. It is very important feature. So if the user's workstation is free for computation, the computation is done there without any issues, and if it is not having the sufficient power or processing time, so what it does is it will take the remote computer which is idle for sharing the work, and finally the result of execution is returned to the user's workstation. The user doesn't know that his work is done by locally or remotely. However, his work is done completely by a collective effort of so many systems connected by means of computer networks. The other model is workstation server model. In the workstation server model, in addition to the workstation, there are specialized machines, maybe specialized workstation for running server processes called servers for managing and providing access to shared resources. So there is a central computation happening in the workstation server model. The workstations will be connecting to servers, various servers, so that the computation will happen at the server end. And the data files, all other databases, applications can be shared by many workstations by communication network that are available in the various servers connected to the workstation server model. In this model, a user logs on to a workstation called his or her home station, as we saw earlier. Normal computation activities required by the users processes are performed at the user's home workstation. Requests for services provided by special servers such as file server or database server are sent to a server providing that type of services. So if the user logged on to a workstation, normal workstation, if that workstation is capable of executing the work given by the user, that workstation will take care of the work. Otherwise, the work will be moved on to the central system. There the request will be passed on to the central system. There the computation and the processing will be done. The servers that performs the user's requested activity and returns the result of request processing to the user's workstation. Therefore, in this model, the user's processes need not be migrated to the server machine for getting the work done by those machines, because If the request is for the server, it will be directly routed to the server rather than shifting the processes to the server initially itself. If the request is meant for any server, it will be directly routed to that server and the execution will be happening there itself. These are the advantages of workstation server model. As compared to the workstation model, the workstation server model has several advantages. It is much cheaper to use a few mini computers equipped with large fast disks that are accessed over the network than a large number of disk-full workstations, with each workstation having a small slow disk. Diskless workstations are also preferred to disk-full workstations from a system maintenance point of view. The backup and hardware maintenance are easier to perform with a few large disks than with many small disks scattered all over a building or campus. Since the maintenance has to be done on the main server, the software updation, hardware maintenance are very easy. Furthermore, installing new releases of software such as file server with new functionalities is easier when the software is to be installed on a few file server machines than on every workstation. So in this model, many of the services are taken care by servers. So the application changes, updates, hardware updates and backups that can be done very easily at a central location rather than working on different hard disks that are scattered at different locations. In the workstation server model, since all files are managed by the file servers, users have the flexibility to use any workstation and access the files in the same manner irrespective of which workstation the user is currently logged in. This is another advantage. It is not necessary that if you do some work and you save it in the server, later on you go to another machine which is connected to the server in the workstation server model. They can very easily fetch or process the file they have already created earlier with some other workstation. So it's very easy to have a centralized system so that the maintenance of data, maintenance of hardware, maintenance of software will be easier. Moreover, the computing power is very well utilized in this particular model. Another advantage is a user has guaranteed response time because workstations are not used for executing remote processes. Unlike workstation model, no workstation in this particular model, no workstations are used for remote processing. This all remote processes are handled by servers. Only the local processing will be done by the workstation. The computation requirement will be fulfilled by the workstation. Otherwise, the server systems will take care of giving computational and other services to the all other users, shared users. However, the model does not utilize the processing capability of idle workstation. This is actually there is a underutilization happening because of this particular feature, that is, since the workstations are confined to the local user, the computing power, the resources of the workstation cannot be shared by remote users. This is another disadvantage. Now the next model is processor pool model. The processor pool model is based on the observation that most of the time a user does not need any computing power, but once in a while he or she may need a very large amount of computing power for a short time. Normally this is very much applicable for software development and things like that. For example, when recompiling a program consisting of a large number of files after changing a basic shared declaration, so it will happen not very frequently. The programmer will code the program. Later on, during that time it will be free, no computation is required. So whenever a computation is required, the processor pool model will serve the computation with the required computation to support the heavy computation required by the program. The workstation server model, in which a processor is allocated to each user, whereas in the processor pool model, the processors are pooled together to be shared by the users as needed. Whenever there is a requirement comes, processor is allocated. No dedicated assignment. So that so many processes can be shared by a group of users very effective manner. The pool of processors consists of a large number of microcomputers and mini computers attached to the network. Each processor in the pool has its own memory to load and run a system program or an application program of the distributed computing system. So whenever a requirement comes, these are given to various users connecting to the distributed system. Each processor will have their own system program, operating system, application programs loaded, and also the memory required, hard disk, random access memory for servicing the request from remote users. So in this case, the resources will be optimum utilized. No, there is no wastage of any resources, because wherever there is a requirement, dynamically the processor is, or the computing powers or the resources are allocated. This is the model. So many servers are there. The users connect to servers. They will, according to the requirement, one server, two server, or a number of servers will be allocated to the users according to the requirement. And if there is no requirement for a particular user, accordingly it will be adjusted. The number will be reduced. If there is no computing power at a particular point, the computers will be allocated to some other users. In the pure processor pool model, the processors in the pool have no terminals attached directly to them, and users access the system from terminals that are attached to the network via special devices. Because the local computation is not happening, it can be done at the central location, and dynamically it can be fetched according to the requirement. Only these less terminals can be attached to computers which is trying to access the central system. And these terminals are either small diskless workstations or graphic terminals such as X terminals, so that they can connect to, it's a lightweight, they can connect to the remote system by terminals. And how these systems are managed? There are so many server pools in the processor pool model. How these processors or these servers are given to various users dynamically according to the requirement. So this is called management of requests from various users, and it's a management of resources. A special server called a run server manages and allocates the processors in the pool to different users on a demand basis. So a special server is kept ready for taking the request from users, managing it, routing the request to the appropriate server, allocating number of servers. All those things are done by a run server that will manage the request, manage the resources, manage the request from the users, so that an effective system is in place that is having minimum wastage of resources, and the users who make use of the system are getting maximum resources available in the processor pool. When a user submits a job for a computation, an appropriate number of processors are temporarily assigned to his or her job by the run server according to the requirement. If the requirement is more number of processors will be temporarily allocated. If the requirement is less number of, it will be decided by the computation requirement of the request by the server called run server. For example, if the user's computation job is the compilation of a program having n segment. N segment means it can be grouped, or it can be subgrouped, or it can be divided into n subtasks. So concurrently this subtask can be done, in which case each of the segment can be compiled independently to produce separate relocatable object files. So in this case, n separate sub programs can be created that can be assigned to various computing unit, n computing unit. So after the computation, separate relocatable object files can be created. So in this case, the run server allocate, based on the request, allocate the required resources to the request. N processors from the pool can be allocated to this job to compile all the n segments in parallel. That is another advantage. It will be done parallelly rather than sequentially, because n processors are n small groups or small tasks of a big task is done by different computing units, so it can be done parallelly. That is very advantage. When the computation is completed, the processors are returned to the pool for use by other users. So the resources can be made effectively without any wastage. The processing will be very fast because all n segments will be computed by n different processing units parallelly. In the processor pool model, there is no concept of a home machine. So all the requests will be routed to the processor pool model. So there is no question of having home machine. So there is no wastage of processors in the local machine, because all the works are done by the remote central system. So users machines are directly connected to the processor pool model, and there is no computational wastage of at the user end machines. As compared to the workstation server model, the processor pool model has certain advantages, and this model allows better utilization of the available processing power of a distributed computing system. This is because in the processor pool model, the entire processing power of the system is available for use by the currently logged on user. That is very important point. The currently logged on users will the complete processing power of the entire system. That is very important point. That is a major advantage of processor pool model. So the computation can be faster and the work can be done very fastly and easily. This is not true for the workstation server model, in which several workstations may be idle at a particular time, but they cannot be used for processing the jobs of other users. The workstation server model, the servers are engaged, but not all workstations are always engaged. If the user doesn't make use of the full computing power of the workstation, it is idle. Whereas in the processor pool model, so there is no question of wastage of any computing resources, because the workstation that logged on by the user doesn't have the computing power. It will directly map the complete processing to the central servers that are connected to the processor port. And furthermore, the processor pool model provides greater flexibility than the workstation server model, in the sense that the system's services can be easily expanded without the need to install any more computers. So the applications can be extended very easily, the software updates can be installed very easily, adding additional resources can be done without any problem, because all these are connected centrally. The processors in the pool can be allocated to act as extra servers to carry any additional load arising from an increased user population or to provide new services. The disadvantage of processor pool model is the processor pool model is usually considered to be unsuitable for high performance interactive applications, especially those using graphics or Windows system. That means the processor pool model is good for computation, heavy computation, whereas it is not suitable for interactive application having graphics. This is mainly because of the slow speed of communication between the computer on which the application program of a user is being executed. The local system doesn't have much computing power, and it's a terminal. Via this, the user is connecting to the server system. So the interactive mode will be very difficult. So high performance interactive applications are not usable to run on processor pool model. This is the end of this session. Thank you.